So,
You're so cute.
right? So I've been talking this summer about the principles of financial freedom, and I thought this Sunday I was changing the topic a bit because I have been receiving a lot of questions about delay. And then as I looked into the materials of the principles of financial freedom that were created by Reverends Lloyd Strom and Marcia Sutton, they have a little section here toward the back of the course called The Law of Circulation. Duh, it's all about financial freedom or freedom in every way. And so freedom is that feeling of no restraints. And that is our inheritance. It is what we desire in every area of our lives, including financial, but also including things happening. And so because of that which shall not be named, I know I did a talk early on about there is no delay, and I guess we're ready for another round of that because I've had questions about, well, this opportunity was coming to me and then all this happened. Or we had our house for sale or our business for sale and then all this happened. Or for me, I was all taking my Italian lesson classes in person and then all this happened. And so what we want to get clear about is this human experience, which we call delay, and understand and realize there's no delay going on. There was no delay going on. There was no delay going on. There's no delay going on. I know you think you may be having a delay, but you're not. You're not. You're on schedule. So what am I talking about when I say we're on schedule? When I look at this universe, everything's moving. The earth is not waiting for the moon to get done with all of its phases. The divine schedule is everywhere present. Everything must move for life to be expressing life. It is moving, and so are you. Whether you believe it or not, or experience it or not, nope, we're all moving, and we're all moving according to the divine schedule. And the divine schedule is always for the highest and the greatest good of all. And in the all, you, me, we're included. All your circumstances and situations, it's included. All what you really want with your heart and what you think of, it's all included. Because there's not a spot where God is not. There's not a spot where movement is not. If you want to think of God as movement, there's not a spot where movement is not happening. Ask any scientist, right? It's all moving. There's not a spot where intelligence is not, where some sort of guidance system is not going on. There's not a spot where this one something called life is not. And that includes you and all of your human circumstances. Everything. It's all included. I, years ago, audited a class at Princeton University. The course was called The Metaphysics of Time Travel. And it was a philosophy course. And the professor, the very first day I was there auditing, he was quite a character. As far as I could tell, the entire term, he did not vary his clothing or anything. But he was moving because he actually shared that he believed that time travel was possible. And I heard later on the next fall that he had made his transition, that he had left the planet. And I'm thinking, he traveled. He's still around in this universe. He's traveled. But anyway, the very first class, he proved the existence of God without actually, I don't know whether he was intending to or not, or something. But what he was saying was, Everything that is was created by something. And so the all includes everything. But let's say that the all also includes the something that's creating everything. And if you're saying that there's something that created the something that created everything, then that something that created the something that created everything is also part of the everything. And so he just kept drawing the circles, like no matter what your logic is coming up with to create the start of something as an outside of everything, he just drew a big circle and he said, and that's part of it. And so anyway, I think one other person in the class were silently going like that, and everybody else was like, because he was perhaps not the most fascinating, scintillating conversationalist, but that's it. So when we're talking about the all, this universe, or let's call it God, when we're talking about all, it's all. So anything that you can think of that's outside of it, just make the circle bigger and realize it's part of the all. All is all. So that also is down to the detail of you and everything in your life. It's part of the all. The all. Whether you make the train or not, it's part of the all. And so those very details of our human expression and experience, we want to consciously realize are a part of the all, and the all is always operating with a law of circulation. It is all moving. Everything is always moving in relationship with everything else, continuously changing that relationship with everything else. It's like you're looking at a kaleidoscope. The kaleidoscope speaks. My favorite word this week is kaleidoscope. Okay, so when you're looking at a kaleidoscope, right, you're turning it and you're seeing this beautiful picture changing. And yet it's all still there. And if you dissect a kaleidoscope, you realize it's all these little pieces of colored glass that are you're just turning around their relationship with everything else. But when you look at it, if you were in the kaleidoscope, if you were a piece of glass, it would feel like all the time, right? But if you're looking at the divine view of the all, you're seeing everything is a part of the whole. And everything is always in harmony with everything else. And everything is always expressing the life, the beauty, the peace, the harmony that is. So we want to think of ourselves and everything in our lives, all our little pieces of colored glass, little details of our lives as all part of the all. And therefore, it's all circulating, and it's all part of what I'm calling a divine schedule, the all schedule, the schedule that is always maneuvering and changing everything so that everything remains in harmony with everything else. It cannot be possible that the divine, all-knowing, infinite mind created a creation, a human being, say, that could mess up its schedule. We don't have that power. We believe it, but we don't have that authority, because the divine is not going to create something that will destroy itself or jam up its works. I'm including dinosaurs here. So everything is created by the divine with the full awareness of the divine of what is possible for that creation to do. And it's all included in its thinking, in its intention in creating. It gives us that ability to choose. It gives us the ability to create something wonderful. It also gives us the ability to create a mess. But the divine schedule is undisturbed, and being a part of it, right? It can't get out of it. Being a part of it somehow, even in what you think is a mess, the divine schedule is operating. Nothing can take that away. And the divine schedule is always moving us from good to greater good. Now, our opinions are in the kaleidoscope are like, well, I don't like this arrangement. There's just too much orange in one corner. You know, and why am I surrounded by all these orange pieces? I'm blue. And, but for the highest and greatest good of all, which includes our greatest good, we're on schedule. So what we need to do with what's going on in the world right now is realize that there is a divine schedule operating, and we are on it, and we are a part of it. And so for the particular people who have come to me this past week with different situations that seem like they're not working out or whatever, what we want to realize is that this divine knower knows what's going on in the human race. It knows what's going on with that which shall not be named. It knew about this before we knew it, because it knows what's going on in the human race's consciousness. It knows what we're about to create for ourselves. It knows all this. And so the divine knower, which is infinitely intelligent, right? It knew everything, and it still knows everything. And it knows your desires because it put that in your heart. And it took all this into account way back last November or whenever it was that you made a decision to do something. And we have to realize that this infinite knower knew all this, so that even what looks like, well, I was going to be going to Italy, and then all this happened, and now I'm not, doesn't mean I'm not going to Italy. It means I'm not going in May, which has passed because I didn't go, right? But it doesn't mean that the good that I was seeking is not still being delivered. It's on its way, but not in that particular form, that particular time, that particular whatever. And again, if I were to know all, as the divine knows all, I would see, like I'm looking at the kaleidoscope from far away. Oh, I didn't realize a better thing was floating out there. And something that is going to fulfill another desire of my heart that I thought had nothing to do with the trip to Italy. And so we want to realize that we not only are we part of the all, but all of us is part of the all. And that divine that knows us so well, it knows that you want to sell your house because you want to go here and you want to go do this and blah, 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 blah. It knows all that. But it also knows what motivated us to desire all that, because it was the motivator. And the motivation could have been to experience more love and freedom in your life, more joy in your life, more harmony in your life, greater ease in your life. And that is still on schedule, getting delivered. And we don't know until the story's over how it all plays out, right? Reading a really good book. I love reading a really good book, not too scary. I used to read scary books, but I can't read them anymore, but our lives might be pretty scary. That's okay. So you just want to think of your life as you just finished a chapter where the heroine or the hero are, hanging, and it all looks like it's lost, but it's not lost because there's a whole lot of more chapters to the book to come. And the hero's gonna survive somehow. And the heroine is you. It's us. And so when we know all that the divine knows, there will come a time when we will see, oh, I'm glad that didn't happen when it did, because look at all of this other good that I hadn't planned on that was able to come my way. Well, it looked like I was waiting. We're not waiting for living. We're not waiting for our lives. We are living our lives completely. So in our law of circulation, what we want to understand is everything is circulating and we must participate. The law of circulation, Lloyd and Marcia bring out three different aspects or three different names or levels of circulation. First of all, we're all used to natural circulation, right? That breathing in and exhale. the blood circulating throughout our bodies. The planet's moving all around. It's natural. We don't have to think about it. And then there's something that they called conscious circulation, which is our choice to participate in the circulation that's going on. And we choose how we participate. We can participate with love and with blessing, or we can participate in fear. And here's the thing. Circulation based on love expands. So you can think about the way the universe is naturally circulating and expanding in its space of circulation. And that's true of us too. The universe's essence is one of love. And that love, when it's present in us, as we allow and choose things to circulate in our lives with the quality of love, we find our experience expanding and the blessings that are flowing in increasing. And so that's why we do spiritual practices like giving of ourselves, giving our time, our talent, our treasure, because as a spiritual practice, we are giving ourselves consciously with that quality of love. And we expect it to circulate things in our world so that what is returned to us is expanded. And then circulation based on fear contracts. And what do we have going on in the world right now? Fear. I'm afraid it's not going to work out. I'm afraid that the buyer doesn't want to buy. I'm afraid that the employer is going to go out of business. I'm afraid I'm running out of time. And all this, right? You could, right? So they write, when we circulate money in our lives on the basis of fear and the belief that there is not enough, we will enter into a downward spiral that will contract and diminish our experience of life. This is because our fears will come upon us. So everybody breathe, let natural circulation happen. Breathe. And connect with the love, right? Even if it's like love the size of a grain of a mustard seed. It's enough to start with. And what we want to realize is that all of our wonderful plans that look like they have been put on hold or might not happen or all this other sort of stuff, we want to realize is those thoughts about them, like, oh, it might not happen, or I don't know, maybe everything's going to change. It looked like everything was going my way and now it's not, whatever. We want to realize all those thoughts are coming from fear, right? That was it. That was the chance. You missed it. It's over. That thinking is not of the divine. The divine doesn't say to a planet, that's it. You were too slow in your orbit and everything else has moved on. That's it. I'm creating a black hole and you're the beginning of it. No, that's not how black holes get created. I don't think. All right. Okay. Gary will set me straight. Okay. So, so because that doesn't happen on the cosmic level or on the atomic level, it does not happen on your level. And the divine schedule is still operating even if you are not seeing it happen or not. So you might be in that downward spiral of fear and nothing seems to be moving and the dust is settling and collecting. That's why we have to do house cleaning. It's a law of circulation. The only reason, right? You got to keep it moving. Yeah, don't go there. Okay. I'm going there. Stop it. Law of circulation based on fear contracts. Okay. So if it looks like our world is stopping, or something's not happening, what we want to realize is that there is a variable that had not been included in your calculations, that the divine knows and is in the equation, calculating your orbit from good to greater good. I used to be an econometrician. I used to make up these economic forecasting models, predicting anything. It turns out you could just make up a number. It works just as well. That's why I left it, that particular thing. Anyway, little side note. Sorry, economists, I know what you're doing. All right, so there's a variable you're not aware of, but that variable is your good. It's an aspect of your good you had not calculated into that particular equation you were using. And once you realize that that variable is there, it might help you relax and realize, now wait a minute, I'm on the divine schedule, right? That infinite mind knew everything. It knows what's going on with the potential buyers. It knows what's going on with that particular bank, what's going on with that company. It knows it all because it knows all our thinking, and it knows how to bring me into a greater experience of life. How many of us do spiritual work, right? Let me see. Let me treat the four corners, our four square lives. We treat every day for our health. We treat every day for our wealth. We treat every day for our successful self-expression or career. And we treat every day for our loving relationships. That kind of spiritual practice, we're four square, right? And boy, how much of our health might be improving and world health improving because there's a seeming slowdown in our self-expression. And if you were to know it all, would you agree? And what we're realizing and building our faith upon is, if I did know it all, I would agree. And I would be the first cheerleader. I would be in the front row, rooting for what had been seen as a delay. But we just aren't there yet. We aren't there yet in our book. We haven't lived enough life yet. But we will. We will. It's all happening because this didn't happen. Something else is happening. And I talked about there are three levels of the law of circulation: natural circulation, conscious circulation, right? But there's another one I didn't mention yet. Didn't forget. Perfect circulation. And this is what we want to be aware of, that we are a part of all the time. Perfect circulation is when the creative process of life is flowing freely through us and always bringing to us experiences that are divine in nature. So the particular thing in the human realm that looked like our good, oh my gosh, I want it, right? How many of us see something really wonderful coming and we get attached to it and we're like hanging on it only to get it yanked away from us and we're like, what? But that hanging on to the one thing, we lose sight of the all, our all, not sacrificing martyrs like, okay, because I didn't get the job, somebody else did. All right, I'm here for their greater good. No. The greatest good of all includes your good and the good that we all can agree upon. And so the divine schedule is always moving everything in this universe and everything in it, including us and all of our human little particulars, for the highest and greatest good of all. And that which is divine in its goodness, which is what we want in our heart, because should you ever choose to leave this planet, pass over into something else, You're not taking that job. You're not taking that human being. You're not taking that trip to Italy with you. I know a lot of us think, well, we get to take our memories. I want to take our memories. I want to have good memories. Personally, I don't think we take our memories. I think we're too big for our memories. Our memories are too small. I think we take life itself. We are life. And so we just expand into something else. And it's sort of like when we look at our memories, we're like, oh, yeah, been there, done that. So when we move forward, it's not these things that were so important to us moment to moment, but something larger. And that something larger is happening. It is happening now. You just might not see it yet. And so as I've worked with people the past couple of weeks in their particular circumstances, it's very interesting because I've discovered as the divine schedule was recognized that it was in process and that there was nothing in life that can interfere with the divine schedule, that the particular good, the particular sale, the particular whatever that they desired all went through. It all went through. Why not? It's an idea of good, right? So whatever you are moving into, whatever you are releasing, it's all some part of moving from good to greater good, from love to greater love. If you're selling a house, you've loved that house and you're letting someone else love it. And now you're moving into a place that you're going to love more because it's more perfectly designed for you. And it's a perfect exchange of something. And all of life is for it. All of life is for that new owner of your property to live in this wonderful home that you are circulating and giving to them. And they are loving, giving you the money so that you can move forward in your life. And we want to realize hoarding money, right? Or anything, I am a clutterer, right? But, hoarding it is not agreeing and participating in the perfect circulation. And there is a belief in me for every little thing that I can't let go, right? There's a little part of me, oh, but I might need it later. Or I'm not using it right now, but I might want to use it. Or I love it. I love it. It's a memory of something wonderful that happened. And if I don't have this particular object, I might never remember that thing again. Because maybe it's not really all that important to remember for my greater good, but we won't go there. So the thing is perfect circulation is to live in a state of unconditional love. To practice that I am moving from good to greater good. I'm practicing love, and I'm realizing that were I to know everything, the love that I am would want everything that happened or didn't happen to have been that way. Love will let you know that. They say that our spiritual practice for living in a state of unconditional love is accepting and blessing everything that arises in our experience of life, no matter what it might be. It is the ability to consciously accept and never reject anyone or anything. This is done in accordance with the deep wisdom of knowing that the blessing power of love will either transform what it touches into something better, or else it will make it go away. I think that blessing practice is realizing and I go to Emma Curtis Hopkins, no matter what comes to you, that blessing practice is, this too is good. This too is God. This too is for me. And I demand to see the blessing in it, right? So, you could be having whatever emotional experience you're having and still practice love, right? So we want to realize that even now, even in this time of human experience together, which is, as far as I can tell, my little position inside the kaleidoscope, it's, in my opinion, with what's going on around me, it's a mess. All right? Get your act together, people. That's what I want to say. Like all you pieces of glass. We had just calm down. But if at any point we can move to see the full picture, and something in you, call it that still small voice or intuition, something in you will know, will tell you it's all okay. It will. I know it will. You might not be able to hear it, or you might not agree with it, or you might be like me going, are you sure? Right? That's me. Are you sure? It doesn't feel good. Are you sure? Maybe I should be doing something besides cleaning the house, besides exercising. I don't want to do those things, right? I should be out doing other things. But yes, what is mine to do? So calling on divine love to show you the path. And as I said, it was either in that opening prayer or somewhere earlier on. No, it was in the opening prayer, that no matter where you are, we always have a choice. And the choice is yes or no. And when we realize the choice always boils down to life or love or the greatest good or harmony, when it boils down to that, some essence of the divine, when it boils down to that, whenever we say yes, we get ourselves back in an experience of the divine schedule, which is flow or grace. And while we're saying, no, I'm afraid, I'm not sure, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it, I know you want me to go this way. And that was like me learning how to use Facebook for our Sunday talks. Oh, I don't know what you didn't see. It's best for you not to have seen, for the greatest good of all. But yeah, there was a whole lot of, I don't want to do. And those of you who have been around, you know, I love technology and technology loves me. Yes. You have to practice love. Practice love. And know there is a way. There is a way. And then, like Emma, I demand to see it. I demand to see the blessing. I demand to see the good in this particular scenario. And you will, because it's there. I don't know when you're going to see it, but you're going to see it. And if you check in with your heart, if you check in with that still small voice, the intuition within, it will tell you it's there. It won't tell you where it is, but it'll tell you it's there. So let's take a moment right now and absorb this information and contemplate your life and realize you're on divine schedule. Everything's operating in your favor. And so just check in to see how you'd like to see that some more in your experience. And then afterwards, I'll do an affirmative prayer, a spiritual mind treatment to help us see it. So let's do that practice now.